Yeah. I think we might do a few questions from the audience. How do we feel about that? Anyone want to ask a question? I think we've probably got roving mics that I can't really see. Have we? Yes. Any questions from anyone? I mean, I can go off the app. Oh yeah, here. Yes, up there. I can just about see a hand. This should only take 45 seconds to get the mic to you, so everyone talk amongst yourselves.
Keep your hand
over
up.
there. Keep your hand up. Anyone closer got a question? That'd help me out.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah. Start loud and then bring the mic in. Oh, it's here.
Well,
Wonderful.
Hi.
Make it worth the wait, please.
I was just wondering, in terms of YouTube content, I find that people are free to sort of experiment and play different personas, but in TV, people can sometimes get pigeonholed, and particularly with documentaries. So, for example, I'm Muslim. I see a lot of Muslim talent who only do Muslim documentaries. Do you think that's a problem and that's off-putting to people who are perhaps online and want to make that bridge?
I think, we endlessly have to be working on perceptions for sure. I don't think people should be put off, I find, like, I was just on the bus on Monday to Derry from Belfast, and somebody emailed me out of the blue with a story, and it was a good story. I knew nothing about them. I don't know who they are. I don't know anything. And actually, it was just so powerful that they got me immediately. And I thought, actually, I could see a film in this, and got our team to say, get them on the phone. So I don't think people should be looking at TV and literally thinking, oh, they would never have me, or that's the way they would use me. I think it is more nuanced, and it is changing all the time. So I would be disappointed to hear people thought like that, and I'd like to think that if they thought like that, they could tell us, and we would, convince them otherwise, because we are doing that.
There is that argument of, like you were saying, the Muslim channel only does Muslim documentaries,
Yeah.
right? I've always when I think it's good to be proud of your identity, and representation is a very important thing, which I still think is very severely lacking for British Asians. But I do find it a little bit divisive sometimes when they allocate you something and they go, well, here's the British Asian. There's nothing wrong with the British Asian network. I've got loads of friends who work there, but it's kind of like, well, we've given them that. That's their thing. Let them do that. We can just get on, crack on. So I think that's a problem, and I don't think we need that segregation. I think it just needs to, and as young Asian people coming up, like my little brother, he's 16, he kind of looks up in the industry and he only sees me, a few other people, Guz Khan, a few other, Riz Ahmed. He only sees a handful of people, and really that's ridiculous if you think about how much talent there is out there. And that's because sometimes, you do just say that this is for you guys and you've got that now, be happy with that. And I think that's wrong, and I think it's moving in the right direction. But I think YouTube helps that. I think YouTube is like, you never look at YouTube and go, oh, well, that's that. It's just, it's whatever. It's whoever. And I think television, like TV, needs to move more towards that setup.
I'm going to take a couple from the app, actually. I don't usually like the app, but there's a good one here. It just says, Asim, you've popped out.
Apologies.
Pull them down low. Pull them down low. And then also a question. Are YouTube and Instagram too saturated for newcomers to build an audience?
Not if your content's strong enough. I don't think so. Like, there's people, new creators coming up all the time. Like, just because there's loads of content out there doesn't mean that yours isn't gonna pull through for whatever reason. Obviously, it might be a bit more difficult, but yeah, I think that if you're doing something that's authentic to you, like everyone has their own voice, obviously, and just by making something, I think, that's authentic to you and who you are, then you're going to be different from everyone else automatically. So I think, yeah, if your content's strong enough, then you shouldn't have an issue with the amount of other YouTubers.
Yeah, some of the people we get most obsessed with have just got a few thousand people or 10,000 people, which is a lot in my head. Yeah.
And it does feel quite meritocratic as well. Like, basically, if your stuff is, like, if you're looking at it thinking, well, the reason I'm not finding an audience is it's too crowded, it might just be that you're crap.
Yes.
And that's fine. Like, that is fine. Like, not everyone has to be good.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, also you go on like a wormhole. Like when you start on YouTube, then you're just in one place and automatically you're like somewhere like random, like something about like I don't know.
The dark YouTube journeys, I
Yeah.
love them.
They're them, and then you find a YouTuber that only has so many amount of subscribers, but YouTube allows you to like go and find the most random content.
It's not my favourite way to just kill 6 hours. I love it.
Yeah,
It's great.
That.
Yeah.
Used to
Gone.
be The Sims, but now it's that. You spend hours on The Sims.
Any more
Sorry.
in-room questions? Yes, at the front here. There's a mic very close to you. Here it comes.
Hi, I was just wondering, Asim and Amelia, what advice do you have to TV channels, commissioners, who are all desperate to try and get more young viewers? And also, what are your, like Amelia, you said you'd love to do more TV. How do you feel about the kind of Netflix and Amazon and the new SVODs versus the traditional broadcasters?
Well, yeah, I guess to answer the second part of the question. Yeah, I think that all of those places, Netflix will have me. I'll just say yes. So any of those, I think people are interested as much in those kind of online streaming platforms as broadcasters. I think it's just kind of whoever makes the best offer, I guess, in terms of a platform. Yeah, money, and also not just money in terms of
You've
like
got your
whether it's-
T-shirt money, mate. Shut up.
whether it's a good option for you. But in terms of the first question, which was
How do you
What
attract
advice?
What advice?
for
Advice.
younger
TV
generation
channels?
to TV? I mean, I think personally, if it's not affecting culture and if it's not moving culture forward, there's no appeal for me personally. If I'm a young person, I'm thinking, okay, like basically, someone told me this stat the other day, like the highest grossing film of all time was Avatar. It's now, I think, taken over by Thanos. What's it?
yeah, the Endgame.
Endgame. So Avatar, up until 6 months ago, was the highest grossing film of all time, right? And if you think about Avatar, it's probably like it's probably had the least impact on culture, pop culture. Like, who even remembers that film? It was like, it made shitloads of money. So I think, me coming up, I'm not looking going, what makes money? That's successful, that's what I want to do. I think it's important to understand what actually shapes culture. And, the content in YouTube, that shapes culture now. That's part of our cultural narrative. It's part of our meme culture. It's part of our sense of humor. The same way Peep Show and In-Betweeners and Alan Park, all that stuff was. So I think as a youngster, if I'm looking at television, you almost need to go back and think, when TV was making shows that were really shaping culture, I think that would be more attractive. Like, I think that's the way you get them to say, look, we don't want just a hit. We don't want a viral hit. We don't want to do this. We want to make money, but you don't want to, I think for me, it's about what are you actually contributing to the culture and does it move it forward? And that's what I would say to target.
And I think also that young people are really in tune to whether something is like authentic or not. And I think that is a really big thing. It's not, you could take like talent that young people really like and just put them on a show and be like, oh, they know this so-and-so, let's put them in a show and they'll love it. But I also think it's about making content that doesn't take itself too seriously, because I think when something's too earnest, for young people, I think it can throw them off. I feel like they want to see something which, they can relate to in some way, and they can think, oh, I don't know, they see themselves in it. So I feel like not being too...
And not to be too patronising.
Yeah, too patronising
It's
as
kind
well.
of like, oh, you like Big Shaq, look at this,
Yeah.
Look at this. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, the old dad trying to listen to a bit of Drake. It's like, all right, mate. Like, you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of like, you don't patronise. These kids are smart. My 16-year-old brother, like, fucking hell, I was thick as pig shit when I was 16. Like, the stuff he can do online and like, they're so
Yeah.
advanced. I mean, they are quite, a lot of the real world stuff they lack. Do you know what I mean? There is a but you know what I mean? They are pretty thick as well. But like, in terms of like, technology and all that, like, they're so advanced.
They're very advanced, going to take over the world.
Yeah, they are.
Just before I let you all go, we're going to go down the line again, and I just want you to each give me someone that you're watching online at the moment that's creative, interesting, innovative, that you think the people in the room might not know about. Effectively, I'm asking you to do their jobs for them. So, Fiona.
Natasha Bateman on Instagram.
What does she do?
You have to tune in. She has a channel called Our Lady Balls. That's all I'll say.
Oh.
I'm in.
I watch a show called Gasworks. It's on Boiler Room.
Ah, yeah.
And
With
especially Alhan as well, and he does his own stuff too. I think that's one to watch out for.
I'd go Amelia Gething. She started on TikTok.
You're going to say me then.
Oh, also Amelia. She started on TikTok and now does scripted comedy on YouTube.
Okay.
Mine's, it's not a person, it's Tiny Desk. It's quite popular. They do live music in a little library, and it's just the best thing ever to listen to. The music is just incredible. And check out Asim Chaudhry and his t-shirts. Yeah. Available to purchase.
That is all we've got time for. Thanks very much to our fantastic panel, Asim Chaudhry, Helen O'Donnell, Amelia Dimoldenberg and Fiona Campbell. I think the